Hello, and welcome to my review session called Awesome Review Games and Assessments That Are Not Kahoot. Yes, there are good things about Kahoot, but there are also some frankly annoying and kind of frustrating things about Kahoot. Well, Kahoot is a great way to gamify learning and to make gaming learning just fun and, more than just, a study guide. Unfortunately, it does make the focus on competition and not on, hey, did you actually get this? If not, have you learned from your mistakes and have you moved on and have you truly mastered the content? Unfortunately, in my opinion, I think Kahoot focuses, like I said, way too much on the game and the competition and not enough on mastery. Also, another thing I've noticed as someone who teaches students with disabilities and students who are language learners, it's not user-friendly to those who need additional time to really think and process a question, or those who need extra time to really read and understand what the question is asking. It's not user-friendly to all students, and it's definitely not the best for truly making sure students master content. So here goes the choices that are, in my opinion, far superior to Kahoot in many different ways. So the first one I want to present is quizzes. I've used this a few times. So quizzes is a self-paced student gamification review. As you can see, on September 16th on my blog, I posted a link to quizzes about where people live and why, and I provided a game code. So with quizzes, when you provide a link and a game code, you do have an option where it closes over time. So since this was back in September, unfortunately, this link has expired, so I can't show you this example, but I'm just showing you a way that students can access it, where you can have the link posted on the blog and have the game code. So when students do get into quizzes, they'll enter the code here, and then they'll click join. And what's fun about quizzes is it gives you a timer, but it's not nearly as short as Kahoot. Also, if you get a question wrong, or if you get a question right, they'll always post some memes to come up to kind of be fun, but also funny, but also to be encouraging. Also, students do have the opportunity to try the question again later, so it's constantly looping. But also what's nice is instead of having it on the board where everyone's seeing where you're at, it does have where, you see who you're playing against. And yeah, there is still that competitive element, but, you're not seeing which questions you got wrong. It's mostly out of just, total points. I've noticed when my students have played quizzes, they like it a lot better than Kahoot. Partially because it's their own pace and they don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, Miss Murphy, the question's almost over. They don't have to rush that. So just to kind of give you an idea of what quizzes games look like, here's kind of something you can do. So these are some public ones that don't have a passcode. So these are available anytime. If you make it public, there is no expiration date. If it's private, they do expire after a certain time. So in this case, this is public. And what's also wonderful is with quizzes, not only can you do it as a game, but you can also do them as flashcards. So if you do the quizzes game and you're like, man, or one of your kids says, man, I didn't do so hot in this, they can always go back and do some review with quizzes. So let's go ahead and take a look on what this would look like. So you start the game. So here we go. This is what it looks like. All right, Paris can be found at 40 degrees north and 2 degrees east. So, and what's nice is they have a little image to supplement. You hit location. And see, it does the ranking. Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram are used to share information. So let's kind of see what happens if I do the wrong one. So I got the first one right, so I'm gonna put, I'm gonna do something like region. Oh, I got it wrong. So what's gonna happen? So they do an encouraging meme, but it still does the drop down. Okay. Oh, yeah, I definitely got that wrong. So again, they say first take, retake, just kind of making sure things are okay. So the piano human environment interaction, but C kind of gives you a bar of showing what's going on, and you can earn coins. All right, but see, you can kind of see how quizzes works based on that. Login and sign up is free. That's another thing that's really great. So very similar to Kahoot, but again, it's more user-friendly and more encouraging, and it's student-paced, which is the biggest thing. Now, for those of you who are not familiar, here is Quizlet. Now, I know a few folks that I have talked to are familiar with Quizlet, like Meg, but Quizlet's great with flashcards. Quizlet's great with reviewing and doing some games. It's also great for, small groups. My co-teacher uses Quizlet for her pull-out group. So right before, like the day before a vocab quiz, she'll have the kids get on the iPads and do some Quizlet. If once they've done the flashcard, she has them do one of the games. And they're able to play the game, so it makes it nice to where they can... I am not doing good with this. All right, here we go. Drip irrigation. Yay! Yay! Woo! Sorry, I was being... Woo! 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 All right, so again, Quizlet's a simpler version. You can create flashcards with images. I would say Quizlet is very good for reviewing before a test, one-on-one. There are some games you can do, but this is very good for studying because there are flashcards, there's opportunities to review and practice on your own, opportunities to take a practice quiz or test. Quizlet's great if you're wanting to simply review. There's no competition, there's not a game, it's just independent study time. And again, for me, I had the link posted on my blog so students could go home and review this on their own. Another thing I should point out that makes quizzes and Quizlet so much better than Kahoot is they don't have to be there, and you don't have to have a game up in order for students to do this. So you may do quizzes, have the kids do quizzes at school when you're there, but you can also have where they do it on their own at home for studying. So that's another reason why I really like quizzes and Quizlet. So, and again, both of these are free platforms. There were two new review games and options that I came across, and while I haven't implemented them with my kids yet, I really like them. The first one is GimKit. Free to join, free to create. And so I'm going to kind of show you a couple of options. So while I was testing these out, there's a couple of things I really like. First of all, you are able to edit and create these on your own, and I'll show you how to edit in a little bit, and something I found out about GimKit that I love. So I'm going to show you how you can play GimKit. So one thing that I think is really cool with GimKit, there's 3 options for, at least for the month of October, for how you can implement it. You can do the classic where it's individually competing, so very similar to what we've seen with Kahoot and quizzes. Then there's also team mode, which I've done a lot of team-based gamification games, and then there's also humans versus zombies. I'm not entirely sure how that would work and implement, but that's fine. Now down here, another thing that is great about GimKit is, yeah, there is a time limit, but it's not time limit per question. It's a time limit for the whole game, which I absolutely love. So instead of students having, only 30 seconds to answer a question, they have 10 minutes total to answer to complete the entire entire game. Now, if you do want to have it as a race, you can have it as a race, but instead of it being a race based on time, it's a race based on cash, because instead of earning points, you earn money in the review. All right, so I'm going to kind of show you an example of how this would work. There's different personalization options to make it fun and engaging. So we'll just do the classics since it's just going to be me. So I'm going to play this on my cell phone while you get to see the perspective from the teacher. All right, so I'm about to join on my cell phone. Yada, yada, yada. Come on, pull up. Yay, technology being slow. It's wonderful. All right. As you notice, this is kind of like Kahoot in the fact that, you have to have the game up and rolling on your laptop or device in order to have the kids play. So, as you can see, there I am, and you can start. However, unlike Kahoot, it doesn't give you the timer per question. It gives you the timer. It gives you the timer up here for the whole quiz and not just the question. So here we go. Let's take a look. So from my end, and unfortunately you can't see this, on my device it shows the question and the answer. So again, this is not like Kahoot. Kahoot has where the questions and answers on the board. It's the opposite. The questions and the answers are on my device, so I'm able to answer it there. The only thing that's able to be seen on the board is, my progress and also measuring growth. Also, what's another great thing that's not like Kahoot is it does allow for opportunities to improve and see, like I made a question wrong, but it also allows for improvement and to try again and to do their best. So if a student gets it wrong, they have an opportunity to look at the correct answer and to try again. So what's great about GimKit is it's very similar to Kahoot, but instead of doing it to compete and finish in the quickest amount of time, it's to really demonstrate mastery and really demonstrate understanding. So, all right. Now with GimKit, it's really, I only created 2 questions for this. So apparently it's not gonna let me edit for right now. But honestly, it's really easy to create. But one thing I did notice when I was creating this was you can actually do an option where you can, instead of making this a game, you can do flashcards as well. So that's another review option, which is very nice. I like it a lot. So again, GimKit's a great option of if you really like Kahoot, but you don't like how it doesn't really accommodate the needs of students and really help them master their learning versus, just compete to be the first one to finish and get the most points. GimKit is your best bet. It's, in my opinion, Kahoot the way it should have been. So finally, here's the last one. It's called, the name is really odd, so excuse me. It's called, I want to say it's, I know this is really bad. Zish. So it's called Zish, but the icon looks like this, and this is where you find it. But you create a class, and what's great is you can do activities, but you can create a class. So as you can see, I created my class. I add activities. For me, I was able to create my class using Office 365 because our school does that. You can also have where questions are aligned to standards, which is amazing. So if you notice, since I had inputted that my class is 7th grade social studies for Georgia standards, it automatically pulls up the next best bet. It also helps you determine how well are your classes mastering the content based on the standards. And as you can see, it shows the standard subsets. While you can create your own assessments and your own games, you can also pull from ones that are already created. So I'm going to show you one that's already created. So this is what it would look like for a student. So take a look. Now there's a limited amount of time, so I'm going to show you this, and this is what we're going to end with. So this is Quiz-a-Liz. So here we go. This is what it would look like. All right, so as you can see, again, it's review game, but personalized. Hope that helps.